convoluted route and challenges, yet they had been instrumental in contributing majority in GDPs. Even in the recent past, we have seen lots of changes in the PSU banking system. The recent announcement of the financial inclusion policy, Jan Dhan, that provides access to deposits, credit and insurance to everyone brings in a feeling of a déjà vu. The present task set out to public sector banks to attain certain targets of opening deposits, though laudable, raises several questions. The government, as an owner of public sector banks, has a right to dictate terms to these banks. But given that they have all other kinds of problems, the timing of this is odd. PSU banks are facing difficulty with issues like NPAs, risk assessing, capital requirement, human resources, among others. The Bengal Chamber of Commerce felt there is a need of bringing together all the relevant stakeholders, like all the bankers, regulatory body like RBI, and the Ministry of Finance to discuss and analyze the impediments of smooth functioning of PSU banks.
Sector banks are facing a number of challenges ever since the banking industry was opened up for private players. Being the complete control of the government, the importance of profitability has often taken a backstage for them. Focus on social banking has resulted in increased NPA, decreased profitability and hampered the operational efficiency. The competition with private banks forced the public sector banks to take up serious measures for improving profitability and efficiency of the operation. Innovation, technology and cost-effective service, quality management, keen focus on technology and aggressive marketing will be the critical tools in bringing in the desired efficiency.
The banking sector comprises of different types of institutions to cater to the divergent needs of the economy. There are typical commercial banks which operate on all India basis. There are government-owned banks, privately owned banks, foreign-owned banks. There are also small banks with limited space of operation. Credit cooperatives were created to cater to the credit processing and marketing needs of small and marginal farmers organized on cooperative lines. Cooperatives expanded also in urban and semi-urban areas in the form of urban cooperative banks to meet the banking and credit needs of the people of small means. Regional rural banks were created to bring together the positive features of the credit cooperatives and commercial banks and specifically address credit needs of the backward sections in the rural area. Further, there was an experiment of establishing local area banks, albeit on a smaller scale, to bridge the gap in credit availability and strengthen the institutional credit framework in the rural and semi-urban areas. More recently, we have decided to experiment with new types of banks and have a differentiated licensing policy. Accordingly, we have invited application for small finance banks and payment banks. These banks will operate in their own niche areas of small finances and payments. In India, the universal banking model is followed. As regards the structure of universal banks, the conglomerate structure is bank-led, that is, bank themselves are holding companies, which operate certain businesses through subsidiaries, joint ventures, and affiliates. The general principle in this regard is that para-banking activities such as the credit cards, primary dealers, primary dealing, leasing, hire purchase, factoring, etc. can be conducted either inside the bank departmentally or outside the bank through subsidiary, joint venture and affiliate. Activities such as insurance, stock broking, asset management, asset reconstruction, venture capital funding and infrastructure financing can be undertaken outside the bank.
Yep.
Capital has been, so far, the major part of the capital for banks have come from retained earnings consistently. Very rarely that they raised it from the market or from the shareholders. Of course, government, PSB banks periodically got support from the government, additional capital infusion. But if you look at the portion, you will find that retained earnings have been the major share, contributing factor. Not only to public sector banks, even private sector banks also. So the more and more they are profitable and they are able to retain. The more and more their turnover increases, automatically the absolute profits also increase. Then again they are retaining. That is in the past derivatives. It is and under the Banking Regulation Act, there are restrictions about what a bank can do or what a bank cannot do. So commodities are not coming under the permissible activities of the bank. So that's why, as on date, it is not a regulatory restriction, it is a legal requirement that banks cannot be dealing in commodities. Yes, Forward Market Commission has been taking up this idea, whether banks should be permitted to participate in the derivatives, commodity derivatives market. It is being debated, no conclusions yet on that.
So if I can just interrupt, I'm very sorry to do that. Sir,